Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a very special guest. This has been a long time in the works. We've got Min Kim, founder of the wonderful project Icon. And so we're going to be talking about a bunch of things today, like the world of DeFi starting to expand into Icon, IconFi specifically, if you want to earn yield on your cryptocurrency, and just a little bit of everything in the Icon world. So thanks, Min, for being here, man.
Thank you. Lots to talk about. So we'll
Yeah.
we'll take it one by one and we'll keep doing this frequently, okay?
Absolutely, we'll do this again for sure. So, the first thing I would love, right up front is to sort of share with folks who might not be familiar with you, might not even be familiar with Icon, what your background is and what kind of drove the creation of the Icon blockchain
Sure,
ecosystem.
sure. I'll keep this part short.
Sure.
So I'm Min. I'm the founder of the Icon project. Icon project is a one of the largest blockchain projects out of Korea. We focus a lot on enterprise, but our main bread and butter has been smart contract and interoperability. And we are starting to really push that this year. Outside of that, we've been heavily focused on the user side of things, how to make it easier for mainstream friends and family to join the crypto industry. So user experience has been huge. So that's has been a big focus for the past year. And a lot of these things has been coming to surface this
Mhm.
year.
Yeah, it's exciting times, I think, for the crypto world, broadly, but also for Icon. It's been really cool for me to see, a resurgence in interest in the project and all sorts of cool projects happening. And one of those projects is IconFi. I actually covered this on a Crypto Over Coffee episode fairly recently, but it's sort of a really well-designed application, mobile application where users can deposit a
Mhm.
few different types of cryptocurrencies and earn yield. So can you talk a little bit more about IconFi?
Sure. So IconFi, just to give you sort of the history, you know, I've been in this cryptocurrency space for a very long time. I've been trying to get my mom and my wife and my friends into this space. And obviously it's been very difficult for them. A
Mhm.
lot of questions around has come about with DeFi, yield mining. I mean, these things are getting more and more complicated.
Mhm.
And I've had trouble, to be very honest. I've had trouble, people, my close people, close friends and family of mine, joining the Icon network. It's too complicated for them, and we could definitely go into many ways that we could educate, but the other side of things, we want to try to make it easier. IconFi has been in the works for more than a year. We started brainstorming a wallet concept. We already had IconX, a decentralized wallet, a
Mhm.
self-custody wallet, and it was very easy to use, but still, it is still complicated. People
Mhm.
do not understand this concept of self-custody. There are people who automatically, they're used to a cloud server or cloud service where what we call centralized exchanges is very easy to just log in. If you forget your password, you could just reset your password and go in and do your things. Um, so that got us thinking. And while we were initially going through the process of redesigning the IconX, the self-custody wallet, we sort of pivoted and started rethinking about how our friends and family could get more involved and use this, get involved with the Icon, staking and all the good things that it provides. So, the concept of Icon 5 came into place. We just wanted to make it that simple for people to stake their ICX. We've had so many questions in the past years, like even today, like every day, every week, we get questions of people asking, how do you stake Icon?
Yeah.
How do I earn these yields? And trying to teach them how to do it with IconX has been very difficult. Icon 5 solves a lot of that problem. And we just make it extremely simple. And that was the first goal. But still, you have all these great opportunities, things that I've learned over the past 3 years of how our partners, manage our crypto assets. So we have BTC, we have Ethereum, that we hold, and also definitely stable coins that we
Mhm.
do for treasury management of our foundation. And while we were experimenting with different ways, we actually gained a lot of great insight and knowledge about what's the best way to manage and earn yields with our treasury. And fast forward 3 years, IconFi is sort of that learning and that we put into a product. And we're trying to provide great services, very similar to what BlockFi is doing in the
Mhm.
US, what the IconFi team is trying to do in Korea and Asia.
Yeah, and it's super powerful because I think that the way that it mixes those two big things, right? One is making the core service of the blockchain network, which is, the ability to stake and participate in the network, making that really easy for someone to do, but also
Hmm.
giving people rewards for doing it, and secondly,
Yeah.
giving you other opportunities to earn yield. I think the the expectations now for users in crypto are a lot higher in terms of how
Hmm.
much yield they can get and how many opportunities that they have to earn yield, and we're kind of spoiled in that way.
We are. And, a lot of the DeFi farming that we've seen over the past year, a lot of people say, like, why aren't you guys offering, 50%, 100% yields like other DeFi services? And, the easy answer to that is that, how this world works is risk and reward.
Hmm.
And a product like IconFi is we try to minimize as much reward, as much risk as possible for the amount of reward. And we've done that through the activities and through experience that our team has accumulated over the years. So I think people automatically look at IconFi with other DeFi high yielding products, but I
Hmm.
think you got to realize that the underlying risk may be very different. And some of these are smart contract risks, some of these are operating risks, some of these are custody risks. There's different types of risks that are there. So generally, the reason why people are offering higher yields is because I believe there's more risk to it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You look at the hot DeFi yield farming coin of the day, it seems, or of the week, and there's
Hmm.
a large proportion of those that don't last much longer than a few weeks because there's a rug pull, the core developer drops tokens on the community, or simply
Exactly.
the experiment is over, right? And it just kind of
Right.
falls by the wayside, and that is much different than, I think, a lot of the projects that have been around for a while. There's a realization that you have to create something that um, almost protects the average user from that risk.
Right. And I've been a victim as well
Hmm.
for a flash loan attack on one of the DeFi services on Ethereum. So I
Hmm.
I love playing with and experimenting with a lot of these DeFi, yield farming services or any other even NFTs, right?
Hmm.
That's kind of comes with my job. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've been a victim to one of the flash loan that happened, and it does not feel good. And but at the same time, you learn from that experience, and you think about like all the risks that goes into it. So you don't really realize some of these things until it happens to you. So you start
Yes.
kind of reverse engineering your mindset and trying to think about, okay, what are the safer ways? What are the easier ways? What are the risk reward returns on a lot of these products that you see today?
Yeah, and I guess that actually brings up a really interesting question. As someone who's been, steering or, working to inspire a whole blockchain ecosystem and icon with a team, obviously. Um, what do you see as sort of the future of crypto in terms of the different options for user experience? Because I feel that there might be, every project is going to have to come up with options for the user who doesn't want to deal with custody, who doesn't want to deal with high risk, and then there will be the sort of very manual user that wants to take on the high risk, that wants to do self custody, that wants to own their own keys and deal with everything. Do you think that's going to continue?
Yes, definitely. I mean, in this world, there's many. I think there's a spectrum of people who are very tech savvy to people who are, very less tech savvy. There are people who are very risk tolerant to people who are not very risk averse. So that's just two examples of people, and we're dealing with many, many different characteristics and personalities of humans. So, I believe there will be different types of applications that kind of fits that appetite. Just the Icon ecosystem alone, we are trying to experiment and we're mixing some of these. So the Icon5 product, for example, as I mentioned, is really designed for people like my mom who, forgets her password, who wouldn't trust herself, remembering password, but she wants a safe way. And she actually trusts banks and other people more than herself. So that's one side of the, people. And then there's also Icon5. We're trying to make it very, very easy to participate in not only CeFi products, but also DeFi products. So instead of using your ledger or your private keys to participate in some of the DeFi products, we want to make the gateway inside the Icon5 product, and with a click of a button, you're able to get yields and participate in some of these DeFi offerings. So just make it very, very plain easy. Even airdrops, all of that, try to automate it so that you can receive it and so forth. And then obviously the other side of the spectrum, you have people who really love the philosophy or the mantra, not your keys, not your crypto, and they want to self-manage their own crypto. They don't want, they think DeFi is going to, it is going to change the world, but a lot of people think that is only, it's gonna change everything. I don't agree with that. I think there's going to be some great things coming out of DeFi, obviously, but there's going to be a subset of people who really enjoy those kind of products, and those are people like me. My partners at Icon, we love playing with DeFi products. We think it's revolutionary. So we like taking risks. I mean, which is the reason why we're in this industry. So, we want to create products for people like me, for myself, that really enjoy getting into the deeps, the depths of understanding and playing with these, these kind of new, I guess, experiments in finance. And then, there's, I think, what you call kind of in between. There are people who, I think kind of want to be, kind of who are quite tech savvy, but also, they don't want to, they also don't trust themselves. There's many types of people, as I mentioned. And there's something called Bridge Pay that, one of my colleagues is making, and it is using, sort of like a halfway in between solution where it is technically you are keeping your own crypto, but those private keys are stored in the cloud using a magic or formatic solution that is widely available and very cool. So Bridge Pay is supposed to make it very easy for people to connect to their wallets to the bank account, and it's supposed to be integrated right into some of the DeFi products so that you could experience it just like how you would do with a ledger, but in a more of a cloud wallet setting. But it is, I think once you experience it, I haven't experienced it yet. I know about it. I'm kind of curious to see how it feels.
Yeah, it's really cool because I'm starting to notice, as someone who's unaffiliated with Icon, right, but just a fan of the project, I did a deep dive on it years ago, and now looking at it, you're seeing the strategy start to unfold. You've got Icon5 giving people that really easy, simple user experience to access some of the core features of the network. You've got the Balanced network. I talked to Scott Smiley. We're going to have a video coming out soon, about the advent of DeFi and stablecoin ecosystems on Icon, and like you said, Bridge. So it's starting to come together now, the vision for the future of Icon. And so I wanted to pose that question to you, in 2021 and beyond, where is Icon going? Where do you see Icon playing in the broader ecosystem?
Yeah. So first things first, our goal has always been to, at the very least, create a very self-sustainable ecosystem.
Hmm.
And I think we're very close to that with the technology side. Once we migrate to Icon 2.0, which is much more scalable, much more stable, and much more modular, there's a lot more things that you could do with it. So Icon 2.0 will set a new foundation for the Icon project and make it very easy for developers to build on.
Hmm.
The second part is, the user experience. I think we've kind of covered that here, so I'll pass. And third is, now we're really getting into pushing the interoperability and BTP. So in the next few months, you will start to see some cool things that we're doing on the interoperability side. So, it's something that we've envisioned from day one. Interchain, interoperability, hyperconnected world. We've been saying that for 3 years now. All of this is sort of coming together, and one of the last pieces that we need to do is interoperability. So we've been working on that for about a year, and we're really going to push that hard this year.
Fantastic. I'm excited for that personally because that's, I am very much a person who, I always say I am an anti-maximalist maximalist. Like I cannot stand the idea that, one protocol or one blockchain network and one set of wallets is just going to rule everything. I have this feeling that there's going to be a really deeply interconnected and interoperable network of
Right.
global blockchain protocols that are niched for certain use cases and applications and even user groups. And so I want to do what I can to support projects like Icon and others that are focused on interoperability. I think it's the most powerful thing.
Exactly. I mean, the way I look at it is, I think it's a big mistake to think how the blockchain universe is going to turn out to be a duopoly like Google and
Hmm.
Apple in the mobile space, because you know Apple and Google has created a centralized platform that they dominate, and they have to play by their own rules. Whereas the blockchain universe is more similar to, in my opinion, like a computer language, where you have many different types of languages that are out there, and then people are continually developing new type of languages that they enjoy using and building with.
Hmm.
So in the blockchain world, there's so many different projects, and each of these projects have different characteristics, different communities, different focuses, and it's an open platform when anybody can join and enjoy. So I'm sure, as I've always said, there's going to be a dominant and a big, one of the bigger, I guess, blockchain projects like Ethereum will always be one of the larger ones. Of course, we're pushing for Icon to be one of, as equivalent or bigger than Ethereum or any other out there, but we're creating something that kind of fits what we want to do, the vision that we want to create. So
Hmm.
I don't know how big it will be. I think it will be, it's a huge project. I have a big vision for it, but we're kind of going at our own pace, and we're trying to take the right steps to get there.
For sure. Building something of quality, I think, is always better than building something that is the loudest in the media or that is the most well marketed, right? Because ultimately the consumer is going to use the product that does what they want it to do the best
Mm-hmm.
and has the best experience. And so,
Right.
for me, I'm the type of user who really likes to, I like the good, easy to use user experience, but there's also, I like to go deeply into the technology and tinker
Right.
around it and play around. So, for me, as much as anyone else who's watching that might have heard about, Icon 2.0 and some of the features that are coming there, can you give maybe like the highest possible level explanation of maybe some of the big categories of features that are coming to improve scalability, to bring interoperability, et cetera?
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing about Icon 2.0 is, it's not the exact features itself, but just
Hmm.
the architecture and the language that we use. So
Great.
the first Icon 1.0 was built on Python. Python is a very experimental language where you could build things very quickly,
Hmm.
and it's fun to use, and you could get something up and running. So that has worked out for us for the past 2, 3 years. The new platform is a whole different architecture built on Golang or Go, and
Got it.
using Go just speeds up the entire network, and also makes things a lot more modular and very easy for for the developers to code. And basically with the code they could say do ABC. It will The output will be ABC, so it'll be very direct and very fast. But outside of that, I mean, we are, the features wise, I mean, the stability, I mean, that's been a very big key. So it will be more stable, it will be more secure. And scalability that I mentioned, it's not just scalability, but, we talked about, one of the reasons why we're migrating to Icon 2.0 is for the interoperability. And in order to do interoperability, we think Icon 2.0 sets a better foundations to build out networks, connect to them, and make it like a lot more scalable.
Got it. And is the transition to Icon 2.0 fleshed out in terms of the migration to the new architecture? Is it going to be a fork or something like Ethereum 2.0 where it's sort of an absorption cut over from 1.0 to 2?
Yeah, it's going to be an absorption. It's going to be a full migration to a new platform. So the Icon 2.0 is already out. You could play around with it. It's great. But what we're working on right now for the next right now we're targeting end of July is the whole data migration. So there's and the smart contracts that go with it and things like that. So that's a very complicated process, and we're taking the steps to make sure that we start to migrate a portion of that and a portion of that at a time.
Got it. So 2021 target launch date tentatively, or is
For
thinking
the
next year?
Icon 2.0 will be we're targeting July, end of July.
End of
Could
July.
always could sip into end of August, but who knows? It's always a question with these blockchain projects. It's not like a mobile product, but anyway, that's in the works. But I think the bigger picture for us, or the bigger goal for us this year, is BTP, and interoperability, getting that started. And we do have very strong partners in that front, and a lot of good things happening in the background that I think our community will be very excited about.
Yeah, count me as one of those people. I'm very excited, and I think that if you're watching this video now and you're maybe not familiar with Icon, please do go and check out the website, dig into some of the content, the papers, the explainers, etc. They're really solid, and if you're a fan of Icon, I think now people are really getting excited about all of the things that are being built, some of the new projects that are coming out that people get to play with soon. So great times.
So great times, a lot of exciting things happening. If you're watching this, any viewers, make sure to download Icon 5, test it out. We're trying to make it easy, improve it. So let us know what you think. And it's doing very well. I mean, much better than what we expected. We've surpassed, I think now we surpassed 50 million in asset under management. I think we're getting to 60 or even surpass that. I don't know, but it's growing very quickly. The users are excited about it. We've had great feedback. So, if you're new to the crypto world, I think IconFi is a great way to get your feet wet in the Icon ecosystem.
Fantastic. So I'll leave a link down in the description below for anyone who's interested in checking out the app. And I'll, of course, link up some really good resources for Icon generally as well. But Min, thank you so much for joining on the channel. It was a pleasure to chat with you both on and off of video. So thanks.
Thank you.